Well, look, it's not a small thing that former Congressman Mick Mulvaney, who went on to serve Trump in the White House, of course, he came out in support of Cassidy Hutchinson. He doesn't think she's lying. So there are people here who support this young woman who's not even close to 30, might I add. They know that she has no reason to lie about what she saw. She was part of the heartbeat of the West Wing, and I'm, of course, no stranger to that kind of thing. I remember on Capitol Hill working for two different Republican members of Congress, sharing sentiments like that when I was frustrated. One big line she said was kind of struck me was he needs to care. And she was, of course, talking about her direct boss, Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Look, the reality is this, is whether or not it moves the needle with Trump supporters or not is not the question here. It's whether or not people start to back candidates like Governor Ron DeSantis with more sort of enthusiasm. A long time sentiment in the Republican Party has been a love for our governors, of course, those who get things done. And now with this picture of an unhinged Trump, it certainly bolsters the image. But it also helps, too, that the Trump-endorsed candidates are losing across the country. There's two things at play here.
I remember him being alone in his office for most of the afternoon. Around 2 o'clock to 2:05, we were watching the TV, and I could see that the rioters were getting closer and closer to the Capitol. Mark still hadn't popped out of his office or said anything about it. Watching the TV, Chief? He was like, yeah. The rioters are getting really close. Have you talked to the president? He said, no, he wants to be alone right now. And I remember thinking in that moment, Mark needs to snap out of this, and I don't know how to snap him out of this, but he needs to care.
He needs to care. It's really a devastating portrait that she painted there of the chief of staff just scrolling on his phone as there were rioters approaching the Capitol.
Yeah, the chief of staff to the president of the United States was so very passé about one of his bros in Congress, Mike Pence. I remember being in the halls of Congress and watching the two of them, how they got along, Mike Pence and Mark Meadows, when they served together there, how they got along so well. And here he was, they were calling for Mike Pence to be hung, and Mark Meadows just does not care, it seems. So, look, that's frustrating. But the big picture here is that democracy is fragile, and it takes principled, good people with good morals and values to say something's wrong here. They should be the people who are able to decipher between right and wrong. Sadly, in this case, it was a woman, so young and not older, more experienced people. But listen, the reality is that Trumpism can be defeated. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me. But as long as fear and division and demonizing the Democrats is the playbook of the Republicans, which it will be for a very long time, more and more people will start to understand that's not the American way. Already last night in conservative Utah, we saw John Curtis and Blake Moore, two candidates that both won primaries, and they both voted for the January 6th Select Committee. So that tells you, again, Trumpism can be defeated. Maybe not next hour, maybe not tomorrow, but down the line it can be.